Okay, guys and gals, about 10 seconds of the obligatory disclaimer. If you want to read the whole thing, just pause the video. All right, premium members only, let's take a look at crude oil. We're going to go through all of the different futures products. Okay, so in the description below this video, if you want to look at gold only, you just click on the link. It'll say gold, and it'll skip right to that part in the video for you. Okay, same for all the rest of the products, natural gas, whatever you want. Okay. All right, let's get started. Crude oil. These are the January 2022 contracts. The new session has already started, so you can ignore that candlestick for now right there. Today was a huge day. It was a huge day in the just the stock market in general, S&P 500. It's also a really big day here in crude oil. I mean, just look at that range today was pretty significant. Let's see what it was here. It was, yeah, 3.5 points. So that's pretty big. Pretty big candlestick going on right there. Nice. Crude oil, kind of like the stock market. They both seem to look to have bottomed, approximately the same time. And though crude oil is a little bit more aggressive on the rebound. Okay, let's take a look and see when this next cycle is. When did this cycle end right here? That ended on 12.6, and the bottom was 12.2. Pretty good, guys. Yeah. Just think about all this time going on, and this thing comes within 3 or 4 days of the bottom on the cycle analysis. Amazing. Good stuff. Let's take a look at this next cycle. When is that one? Okay, January 4th. So just keep that in mind. This is January 4th over here for crude oil. Talked about this yesterday. I'll keep talking about it every day. Just remind everybody. Okay, the middle of the cycle, about right there, is about, we'll call it December 21st or 22nd, okay? So generally, you'll get price stall in here. So whether this is taking off and coming up, it might stall, as it approaches the middle. Okay. See, the 50 may start doing that if it gets enough underneath it. But it's a long way back to that 50, but it could happen pretty quick. It's hard to say. Okay. But at some point, I would think prices are going to come back down a little bit. Wherever the 50 is at that time. Could be way up here for all we know. Okay. But at the moment, that's obviously quite a ways off, right? But it looks like things will want to turn and go up and get very aggressive. So this could come down and then go up again, especially if these indicators, both these kind of indicators, if they don't go all the way down to the bottom line, right? So we'll wait to see how that plays out. So that's the daily. Let's look at the monthly here. Still looks weak, but nice strong month going on. First week of December looks really strong, just above the 50, keeping that buffer zone here. Okay, so still staying above. A little bit of weakness showed up here on the crude oil on the monthly, but it's still strong enough to stay above the 50, so that's temporarily looks like it's strong there. Okay, nice bounce off the 50 week. Look at that. You couldn't ask for better. Right, you really couldn't ask for better off the 50 week. That's a beautiful thing right there. You can ignore these cycles. These are just daily stuff. So the weekly looks like it wants to get some strength and get going, so we'll keep an eye on that. But at the moment, it's looking pretty strong right here. Let's go check out the hourly. So those 2 hours right there are the new session. Wow. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's just a beautiful thing. Here was the open of today's session, started right there last night. And just look at the distance between that and the 50 hour. My goodness. There's just, when it crossed over, kind of like right in here, when it really had that good crossover, boy, that's just so tradable. Once it got off that 50, about that second candlestick right there yesterday, just stay in it, man. Right? And then now you got the crossover happening here. Okay, now you exit, right? You would have exited oil right there. Okay? And a lot of people say, well, why wouldn't you exit right here? Why wouldn't you exit right here? You could, But just realize that the MACD hadn't crossed over there. So it's okay to exit there and then reacquire, let's say, once this candlestick positively got above that one. And then you got a little piece of that candlestick and you got both of those. Okay. But just think about all the money, all the profit you make from that candlestick right there all the way up here. It's a lot of profit. Whatever that was 68.95. All up to 71.70, guys. My goodness. Huge. Okay, I hope somebody took advantage of that, because that's a nice, easy trade. Easy profit on crude oil right there. Super easy. Now, because we're so far above the 50 on the hourly, what I like to do is go look at the 5-minute. Okay? All right. Okay. Wow, look at that. That entire night was just a beautiful thing. Okay? All last night. Touch. Look at all that. That entire time was profit. Okay, got below, you got out. Right? As soon as this candlestick here got a little bit below, you just stop out. Get out of there. Yeah, you could even stop out like on that one right there if you really wanted to, or that one. As it really approached the 50, you just get out and wait to see what it's doing. Remember, this is a 5-minute chart. So things are going by pretty quick here. Okay, you just stay out of it. Because on the daily it's a positive price action, because it's well above the 50, right? Okay, so let's talk about what's going on right now. Well, it's riding right on the 50, so it's not really tradable at the moment. So I just wait to see what this is doing. Kind of crisscrossing, back and forth. Okay, back and forth a little bit here, kind of crisscrossing back and forth. Not a lot going on. So on the 5, you just have to wait on that to see which one's going to give you. Let me just look at the hourly one more time here. Yeah. So because the hour looks like it wants to cross over and come down, I'd be really cautious about doing anything long. You follow me? That right there, you got to be really careful at this point on the hourly chart. I wouldn't go long until you get some. Just don't go long. That MACD is telling you not to go long, right? So if that hourly MACD plays out like I think it might, then at some point, whoops, I think this is going to get below it a little bit. And then you get that second candlestick below it, trade it, if it happens like that. Okay? But either way, whichever way this is going to break, it's the same thing going up. If it breaks really hard above, then you trade that second candlestick going up. Right? It's the same technique over and over. Okay, but just be mindful that the hourly shows some weakness there. And we'll see how it plays out. It may just be temporary. Okay? All right, let's move on to gold. Remember, guys, as I always say, on crude oil you can trade MCL, E micro, and on gold you can trade MGC. The E micro products are great for people with small accounts. Okay, let's go look at the daily on gold. Gold trying to get some legs under it, guys. It's trying. I thought that. Let's see. I actually believed that this candlestick might be a weak candlestick, but it turned out to be green. Okay, that one kind of caught me by surprise. This candlestick that just closed. Right. So that one kind of surprised me a little bit. I thought it'd be a little bit of a weak candlestick, but it turned out to be pretty decent. But gold just looks kind of tracking sideways here under the 50. Okay, it looks like it's trying to get some legs under it and get something positive going, but it hasn't done it yet. So, yeah. Honestly, I'd wait. If gold comes up and touches and gets rejected, and again you get a nice good candlestick going down red on the daily, that's going to give you something you can go on the shorter time frame like the hourly chart. Okay. If you're a swing trader and you can't trade hourly because you're busy doing other stuff in life, then you want to wait to see if this gets above the 50, and if it does, you trade that second day if it's green, okay? Now just remember, though, gold is due for a low December 14th. Okay, right here. Or right around Christmas Eve. Somewhere out there, maybe. Okay. But it may have already found its low right there. Okay, it could happen that it's already gotten its low. But see how over here, look at, I'm trying to find one. We're looking just at the green arcs here. Just these green ones. See, some people would have said this was a low on this daily cycle. That this was the low, but it wasn't. It turned up that this ended up being the low. You see how sometimes cycles can fool you into thinking that it's already gotten low. Like right here, oh, it's a low. No, it wasn't. This was the low. So I'm not convinced that this is the low for gold. Okay, it may be out over here somewhere. So be really careful about gold. I'm more inclined to think that even though it's starting to get some, looks like it's trying to come up here, I'm not convinced until it's above that 50 and show some strength. Okay, let's go to the monthly. The candlestick's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller here. Still looks weak. Nothing's changed on the monthly. It still looks weak. Okay. And on the weekly, it looks like this has got some time to go. Maybe a little bit more to go here before it turns up. Okay, ignore these cycles. These are still just daily. Okay, let's go check out the hourly. Let me see something. Do I have an hourly? No, I don't. Okay, unless this is hourly and I just didn't label it because I've been, yeah. Okay, so these, let me change these to yellow. And this will be the hourly. This is the hourly cycle for gold. Okay, so the hourly cycle for gold, the low is due about 6 a.m. my time, Texas time, on December 8th. Okay? So that's right here. Gold still, yeah, it is going up little by little, tracking that 50, but there's been some serious hiccups along the way, especially right here. Okay, so it's got some strength on the hourly. There is some strength there. Okay, just be aware that 6 a.m. going into tomorrow, Texas time, could be a cycle low. We could see. We'll have to wait to see what that does. Let's look at the 5-minute. Nice little bounce. Nothing, you know, not really tradable, right? Like right now, because the session just opened up and we've only been open for like not even quite 2 hours. But still tradable. I mean, that candle right there, I would have traded it and just kind of waited. Let's see, it closed at 86.7. Yeah, not much going on there. Just kind of going back and forth. I don't know. Not really tradable. There's not enough there to trade. Just looking at the prices. Yeah. See, now back over here, let me get this thing. That's what you want to see. That candlestick right there. That's the one you want to trade. See how this is all just sitting on the 50 nonsense? You can't trade that. But you can trade that one. And then you got it going on. Okay. So you don't want to be trading this. Green, then red, then green, then red. Ah, forget that. Not even that one. Okay. So back to the hourly as we finish up gold. I just want to take one last look at the hourly here. Yeah. Yeah, just be mindful of this session low here. 6 a.m. tomorrow, my time. Meantime, if you do get a good green candlestick like that, the next hour, and it starts getting a little legs, you could trade that. Just be careful that overnight sometimes the prices could just drag on and just trade sideways, and just you don't get a lot going on. So sometimes I don't trade it at all, especially if I can tell that there's just no real serious price movement going on. But yeah, I'd say right now, be mindful of the 6 a.m. Texas time cycle low on the hourly chart. Okay. But right now, gold looks like it's got a little bit of strength underneath, at least on the hourly chart. Okay, let's switch over to natural gas. Let's go to the daily. Wow. That was today's candlestick, and it was kind of hard to see. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. So that was today's candlestick. Not much going on in natural gas. Wow. Not much going on. Just quiet day. Range kind of small too. Okay, not a whole lot going on in natural gas. Been beaten down pretty hard. I think all the real money's already been made. At least, you know, that was some serious money time right there. Okay, especially that candlestick right there. As soon as it got underneath the 50, that second day right there that was huge money. Okay, let's go look at the monthly. Wow. Okay, still shows a lot of weakness in natural gas, and I think 289. I don't know if we'll get down to that, but I could see it getting down potentially to 320 somewhere out here in the distance, in the distant future. Okay, this thing is super weak. If it doesn't get a good strong bounce on the daily and the weekly, then this thing's just looking like it can. On the monthly anyway, it looks really, really weak. But it's already given up a lot. It's already given up a lot here. Not too far from the 50, so it may not give up a whole lot more in the monthly. Let's look at the weekly. Okay, the weekly's sitting right on the 50. Gap down, touches the 50. So that's where we're at on the weekly. Okay, just sitting there waiting. This just, oh my goodness. Looks like it, guys, I hate to say it, but actually it doesn't even bother me to say it. It's all good. If it breaks below the 50, get ready to trade it on the shorter time frames. This is looking like it wants to continue to go down. Okay, let's look at the hourly. Yeah, under the 50 here. Look at this. Under the 50. Okay, had the big gap down. Boom, boom. A little bit of a stair step. Came up. Got rejected today at whatever time that was. 10 a.m. my time. Okay, and now you just want to see. Does it pop above the 50 hour? Because on the hourly, it looks kind of strong here, right? It's looking very strong. And remember, this is below the zero line. Right? The MACD is below the zero line. Let's get this to, yeah. So it's below the zero line, so that's interesting. And this is a very steep 50 hour. My goodness. Okay, so I'd be paying attention to that. If you want to trade natural gas, I'd be paying attention if it gets rejected. Second one down, trade it for sure. Forget these cycles; they're daily. Okay, but if it gets up above it strong, okay, like really strong, and gets up there, okay, then maybe you could trade it long, maybe. But man, I'd be really careful about trading natural gas long. Just everything about it is just continues to get the beat down. Until that daily chart, until the daily chart shows like some really strong indications of a rebound, I'd be really cautious trading long natural gas. I'm just looking at the 5 minute to see how tradable is it. I mean, clearly this was tradable. Touch. Very nice right there. Even though, like I say, you know, do you really want to be trading long? I probably wouldn't myself. Aggressive traders could do that, but I would have traded this. That second candlestick down below the 50, and took advantage of all that right there for the next 15, 20 minutes, right? So, just my opinion. If you want to be super safe, I would only trade the hourly or even the 5 minute below the 50. And trade to the short side unless the daily really gives you a good reason to do otherwise. Because look at this. That's just like, you know, how are you going to trade long on this? I just don't think it's wise. All right, that's my take on natural gas. Okay, let's look at wheat. Okay. Wow, very tiny. Well, you know, doji day. A doji day. Almost a doji. Really can't call that a strong day. In fact, it was weak most of the day. And this looks weak. Though the short-term indicators are saying the price wants to go up. But so far, you know, I talked about this yesterday, it is riding the 50, so on the average it's going up. It's not very impressive. It's not like it isn't like one of these or one of these events. Okay, you didn't even get 2 days like that, or even, right? Something like that. We're not getting that. We're getting this mixed choppy stuff riding above the 50. So to me, it's tradable long. I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's look at the monthly. But of course, if you were watching the monthly, it's saying, what are you worried about? There's nothing to worry about. To the moon. Right? The 50 hours, like, to the moon, baby. Here we go. So wheat's like, oh my gosh, forget about it. On the monthly, it doesn't even know anything about down. Okay, the weekly is a different story. And we're going to see here in a little bit, oats is the same way. They're both showing divergence on the Big Daddy. Okay, so that's definitely on a rising 50. The weekly is suggesting something like that, right? But the MACD still hasn't rolled over yet. Okay, if it does something like that over here, we might get one of those deals. Okay, let's look at the hourly. Wow. So tradable. I've been saying this for a while. I hope somebody's taking advantage of wheat. Remember, you can trade the smaller contracts, the E-minis, XW. They're very affordable. So if you don't want to trade the big contracts, trade the E-mini wheat. It's very affordable. Because why do I say that? Because look at this, man. How can you not trade this? My goodness. That's a whole lot of buku bucks right there, guys. From last week. Okay, today it was tradable right there, I think. And you got 1, 2, 3 hours out of it. Okay. It's tradable. Whatever that opened up at 806.50. And you probably got out maybe at that candlestick or the one right after it really quick. 801. That's 5 points. Okay. That's decent money. I'm not saying you're going to make millions, but you would have made some decent money right there today on 3 hours of the trading. Very nice. Okay. Let's go take a look at oats. Okay, oats, we don't really look at the hourly too much. Kind of like thinly traded. So I don't consult it for trades. I might consult it just for like an idea of where things might be headed. Okay, today was a slightly positive day. Okay. I talked about this yesterday. Oats absolutely defying gravity. Just defies gravity. And now we see short term, things could begin to go up again. But just defies gravity. Look at that. I don't know how it did it. I seriously don't know how oats defied this massive MACD. It basically just traded sideways and gave up a little bit. Now it's back up. It's amazing. Oats is one of those products, man. Don't try to make sense of it. Just wait for the big break, because that right there just amazes me. It's so thinly traded, the indicators sometimes really don't make sense. Let's look at the monthly. Yeah. To the moon. To the moon, Alice. To the moon. Wow. Okay, weekly. Now, I've been saying this, that the weekly chart was the one that's got my attention. All these divergence warnings going on. The MACD's trying to pinch down and roll over. Okay, we'll just see how strong this entire week is, and going into next week, what do we get? Do we get a strong week? Does this thing begin to take off? Do we get another green candlestick after it? Okay, then all bets are off. This is a little pinch and go, But right now, weekly's got my attention. We'll see what happens there. Beginning to see a little bit of a gap in the SMI here on the down, accompanied by divergence warnings. So, see what happens. One last look at the daily. It's not strong yet. Right? These say it wants to go strong, but it's not strong yet on oats. Going to need another few days to kind of give us, and then get a nice hard bounce, and then you could say, okay, it's going to take out this all-time high. Or at least not all-time high, but the recent high. All right? That's my whole take on oats. guys and gals. I hope everybody had a really good trading day. I think there was a lot of opportunities, man, especially the S&P 500. That thing was a moneymaker. Okay? All right, talk to all real soon again next time.